issues and pros and cons for standardized testing within the classrooms. Just for introduction for our debaters today, for the affirmative, which is the pros for why we think standardized testing is good for in the classroom, we have Lauren Duss and Katie Larson. And then for our negative side, which is why we shouldn't, is Seth Ford and Sang Kim. Just a preview of the debate, we are part of the communication department. We are in the communication and critical thinking class, communication 210, and we are debating the pros and cons for standardized testing within the classrooms. This is an educational debate, so there are no winners today for who debates the best. It's just an informational, educational debate. As well as students' views on each side do not necessarily reflect their opinions and motives for their views on the subject. So just a disclaimer for everybody. Now we're going to have, I'm introducing Seth and to talk about the cons for standardized testing.
All right. Standardized testing is not a fair way to test our youth's intelligence. I could go on for hours about why we need to nix standardized testing, but unfortunately we do not have that long. Standardized testing is biased in favor of the middle and upper class and does not test genuine intelligence. The first reason that standardized testing is ineffective is that the tests tend to be biased. Alfie Kohn 2000 says that for decades, critics have complained that many standardized tests are unfair because the questions require a set of knowledge and skills more likely to be possessed by children from privileged background. The discriminatory effect is particularly pronounced with norm reference tests where the imperative to spread out the scores often produces questions that tap knowledge gained outside of school. This, as W. James Popham argues, provides a powerful advantage to students whose parents are affluent and well-educated. It's ironic that we rely on biased tests to close the gap between rich and poor. The second reason that standardized tests are ineffective is that the lower class can't afford the same test preparations as the middle and upper classes. Alfie Kohn 2000 says naturally, affluent families, schools, and districts are better able to afford test preparation products, and the most effective versions of such products, thereby exacerbating the iniquity of such testing. Moreover, when poorer schools do manage to scrape together the money to buy these materials, it's often at the expense of books and other educational resources that they really need. Alfie Kohn 2000 says standardized tests tend to measure the temporary acquisition of facts and skills, including the skill of test taking itself, more than genuine understanding. The fact that such tests are more likely to be used and emphasized in schools with higher percentages of minority students, a fact that has been empirically verified, predictably results in poorer quality teaching in such schools. The use of a high-stakes strategy only underscores the preoccupation with these tests, and as a result, accelerates a reliance on direct instruction techniques and endless practice tests. Dorothy Strickland, an African-American professor at Rutgers University, has stated that skills-based instruction, the type to which most children of color are subjected, tends to foster low-level uniformity and subvert academic potential. There's no denying that many schools serving low-income children of color were second-rate to begin with. Now, however, some of these schools in Chicago, Houston, Baltimore, and elsewhere are arguably becoming third-rate as testing pressures lead to a more systematic use of low-level drill and skill teaching, often in the context of packaged programs purchased by school districts. Thus, when someone emphasizes the importance of higher expectations for minority children, we might reply, higher expectations to do what? Bubble in more ovals correctly on a bad test, or pursue engaging projects that promote sophisticated thinking. The more that poor children fill in worksheets on command in an effort to raise their test scores, the further they fall behind affluent kids who are more likely to get lessons that help them understand these ideas. If the drilling does result in higher scores, the proper response is not celebration but outrage. The test results may well have improved at the expense of real learning.